What are some random facts you think are cool? On Christmas Island, a horde of giant crabs scuttles from the rainforest through towns and structures to reach the beach and mate later in the year. A thick carpet of tiny crabs take the same route back from the beach into the rainforest. And when I say carpet, I'm not exaggerating. Everything's coated with crabs everywhere. It's insane. It snows metal on Venus and rains diamonds on Saturn and Jupiter. The most effective hunter, with a 95% success rate, is the dragonfly. This is because the dragonfly optic nerve connects directly to the wing, so it is able to react incredibly quickly before the prey animal realizes it's been targeted. Also because they have the ability to actually intercept a target's path and predict where it will be when it reaches the target. Dragonflies are pretty neat. Sounds from far away seem louder when it's going to rain because sound travels through water. So say there's a train a mile from your house that you can only hear sometimes. It's because of the water content in the air. It's also quieter when it snows because snow is a really good sound dampener. All apple tree seeds contain all apple tree genetics and choose them at complete random at germination. Because of this, a Granny Smith apple seed could theoretically yield a red delicious. The chances are just abysmally small. As such, there is a very profitable market around taking clippings for cloning from tasty apple trees, and, until the tuition boom of the early 2000s, many universities and colleges who owned apple kilodvers would make more money selling clones annually than from tuition, which just goes to show how rare good apple genetics can be. Foxes have incredible hearing. They can hear a watch tick from 40 yards away. Would this not depend on the water content of the air? The United States Navy has started using Sparks controllers for their periscopes. Mike Tyson once offered a zoo attendant $10,000 to let him fight a gorilla. And, perhaps my favorite, there is an official wizard of New Zealand. A gorilla wolf immediately annihilated Mike Tyson. Don't be fooled. When hummingbirds sleep, they slow down their hearts so much that they are almost dead. That random itch you get right before falling asleep, that annoying urge to move from your comfortable position, your own heart rate is slowing down for sleep, but it did it a little too quickly, and your brain is like, oh shit, wait, are you dying? And basically pokes you to make sure you're still alive. They actually did a test to find out how many licks it takes to get to the center of a lollipop. A group of students at Purdue University legit built a licking machine to model the human tongue. They found that it takes, on average, 364 licks. However, the University of Michigan found out about this test and decided to build their own machine, which took up to 411 licks. Because science. And they only built that licking machine for simulating how long a lollipop lasts. Squids have donut-shaped brains that go around their throat. Therefore, if a squid swallows a piece of food too big for it, it can compress their brain and potentially cause brain damage or death. Cats have a slightly higher core body temperature than humans, which is why they prefer to seek out warmer places, despite being covered in fur. Additionally, they purr at a frequency that's been known to promote healing and bone growth. Not only do they purr when happy, but will also do so when distressed or anxious. They have 32 muscles in each ear, but are also nearsighted. When an item is within 30 centimeters of a cat's face, their whiskers take over as the dominant sense. This is why you might see your cat dragging food out of their bowl. It's uncomfortable to feel the sides of the bowl when they are eating. It is estimated that it could take photons up to nearly 200,000 years to get from within the center of the sun, and only 8 minutes thereafter to travel the 93 million miles to Earth. I think it's cool that it could have taken up to 200,000 years for the light shining on us at any given time just to get here. The light that we all have now was in the center of the sun at the dawn of mankind itself. Humans and cats/dogs altered each other's evolution. When you pet an animal like a dog or cat, your body releases happy chemical. When a dog or cat is pet, they also release the same chemical. We have all heard the saying, everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time, as the great equalizer. But studies show that only 85% of people put their pants on one leg at a time. So, we need to chill a bit about statistics. Things ain't always as they seem, and 15% of you are freaks. If you cut Alaska in half, Texas would be the third largest state. Crescent City, California, is 8 hours away from Seattle, Washington, but 14 hours away from Los Angeles, California. California is so long that NorCal is closer to Washington than it is to Southern California. San Francisco is technically in Central California. A human head weighs about the same as a bowling ball. But what size bowling ball? Human head sized. Chocolate, or to be exact cocoa beans, is actually a poison. Hence why dogs, cats, birds, basically any animal that eats it dies. To them, it's the same as cyanide, derived from almonds, which we also eat. So several foods mankind eat are actually deadly toxic, and the only reason it's not fatal is due to our increased tolerance to poisons that was someone introduced to humanity at some point in history. The pyramids are as old to the Romans as the Romans are to us. They called them great structures. Older, even. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the moon landing than to the construction of the pyramid at Giza. If you ate a polar bear's liver, you would die of a vitamin A overdose. Each cat nose print is unique like a human's fingerprint. The term that describes the day that comes after tomorrow is called "overmorrow." Snails are one single muscle. Turtles masturbate. You are more likely to be killed by a vending machine than a shark. All I can think of when reading this comment is the scene from The Simpsons where the soda machine is attacking Bart, and it says, "I'm gonna cap a pop in yo ass." It's a Small World. The Disneyland ride was originally made for Pepsi's Pavilion in the 1964 World's Fair, and it was an extremely last-minute decision to do, since the board of directors couldn't decide until Joan Crawford just hired Walt Disney to design it, since they had no time left. Disney only had 11 months to design and build it, while also building attractions for the pavilions of Illinois, Ford, General Electric, and Kodak. Another fun fact, every single Disney-made attraction at that World's Fair made its way to Disneyland afterwards. Also, since It's a Small World is played on repeat for so long every day in 2 different parks, it is the most played song in history. If you, theoretically, fold a standard sheet of printer paper in half approximately 42 times, it will be thick enough to reach the moon. Math. Standard piece of printer paper is 0.1 mm thick. 0.1 mm equals 0.0000001 km. 0.0000001 kilometers x 242 equals 439,805 kilometers. To get an exact number that reaches exactly the distance to the moon would require a logarithmic function of sorts. Edit. To really blow your minds. In addition to this, if you fold said sheet of paper 103 times, it will reach outside our observable universe. The apple tree that inspired Sir Isaac Newton's theory of gravity is still alive and producing fruit. Everyone knows that Coca-Cola originally had cocaine in it, but fewer people know the dark past of its competitor, Pepsi. From its inception in 1893 until 1898, the lesser cola bore the name Brad's drink. The English language is weird. You can understand it through tough thorough thought, though. Most rivers on Earth used to be lattice structured, meaning there are many crossing shallow channels, before vegetation became common. After vegetation became common, rivers took more of a modern single deep channel structure, because plants changed how erosion occurred. I'm not a geologist, so I might be a little off, but I just learned that in a class and thought it was pretty darn cool. A scientist, Robert A. Freitas Jr., designed a replacement for red blood cells in the 90s. While purely hypothetical, the nanotetraspiricides could allow a sprinter to win a race on just one breath. Or theoretical physicist, Miguel Alcubierre, has conceptually invented a warp drive. Sometimes referred to as the Alcubierre drive, it could in theory allow for faster than light travel, if we ever learn to create negative energy densities. I saw it recently on a different /r/AskReddit thread. I would link it and give credit to the original poster, but I can't find it. Sorry for the comma stealing, but you can drive south in Detroit to get into Canada. When Jimi Hendrix and Neil Young shared a plane to Woodstock 50 years ago this very weekend, they landed at the wrong airport, missing out on the helicopter that was supposed to take them to the festival, so they could skip the traffic. The only way they were able to make it was because they stole a truck. Neil says that the time he stole a truck with Jimi Hendrix is one of the highlights of his life. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.